Welcome to Low Man Help. I'm Mark Campbell, and today we're checking out Donovan Mitchell's Game 2 performance in Boston against the Celtics. Mitchell was incredible all night. We're going to look at how he used skip footwork to create fear in the Boston defenders and then play off of that fear. I'm excited for this edit. Let's get into it. All right, first clip here from Mitchell, and this is an absolute rocket. Secondary break, off the rebound to push, tight part of the game. This is when Cleveland really cracked it open, and he just sets Tatum up from the time he crosses half court. He knows exactly what he's going to do here. You can tell that he's lining this up, and this is a missile. What a shot. So let's get into kind of the mechanics of the footwork, because most guys shoot this shot, skip to shot. This is a natural instinctual footwork for every basketball player, but it's going the opposite direction. It's going to your weak side. To shoot this going strong side, this is something that he's got in the bag. This is something that he knew he was going to pull out. And the biggest thing this does, when you shoot it strong side, you create an insane level of fear in your defender, because that's your downhill side. That's the one you're really scared about. So let's get into how he kind of makes this work with his feet. We got toes pointing this way to start with. So this is where our toes are pointing to, and Tatum does a good job here of cutting off, right? He's got a good angle. He can handle this whole side of the court. This is really a good spot for him. This is a nice position. But when Mitchell flips this foot around and skips it, this is trouble. So he takes his toes and he's going to create the angles here. So toes go from facing this way to now they're facing downhill this way. And so what this does is it takes, instead of this part of the court being the one that he has access to just over here with his next step, now he's opened up this entire cone from here to here. Everything within here is what he has access to. And that puts a different level of fear. You can see Tatum react when Mitchell drops these shoulders, drops these hips. This is beautiful storytelling. Drops everything. Look at this reaction from Tatum. Instantly, he is reacting to, oh shit, like he's getting downhill. And this is a wonderful skip to shot from Mitchell and an amazing setup of core three changes. Change of speed, change of levels, change of direction, and he launches this one. This is such a nice shot, and this is one that sets him apart. Being able to link this together, put this footwork out there, and then kinetically link the shot together with rhythm and balance, this is something that sets him apart as a player from everybody else. All right, next one, we got a horns look here for Mitchell. And again, he's using a skip going right to sell fear to a defender. So the first time we saw a skip to shot, he sold fear of going downhill to Tatum. This time he changes the angle of where he's selling this fear, and he sells it outside for Tillman. So just from the start, when we talk about Mitchell, he's one of the best in the world at keeping his hips open and giving himself optionality. So even this first one, this lift here, this is power load. And then when he sees this reaction from Brown, he exchanges it. So like from the start, you're already seeing his footwork display. He's consistently moving in rhythm and balance with the basketball. So he's always stacking these movements together. And this is kind of what separates him in terms of being a ball handler, being able to create angles, and being able to shoot the ball. This is where it all builds from him, this footwork base and kinetically linking it together with the power. So that's the start. And then this one, the skip to go, creating that fear in Tillman and then spinning it back, this is just awesome. So this is going to be our skip, right? He's going to lift this frame up and he's just going to push it outside. And when he pushes it this way, all he's getting is this reaction. This is a wonderful setup. He's driving Tillman this way, and he already knows this is when all the weight's loaded here to drive this way. He knows that this is the foot right here. This is the hip that I want to attack back into. And all he's doing is he's setting this up from the jump. Just like the other one, he set up on Tatum. He knew he wanted to shoot that. He created fear in Tatum. He's doing the same thing with Tillman. He's skipping and then creating fear in Tillman, driving him outside of Donovan's frame, creating fear that he has to go out there and then taking it back in. And it all starts with Mitchell of this footwork base, where whether it's lifting and being able to go, exchange, or shoot, or skipping and creating fear in defenders, whether it's getting them downhill or getting an angle outside, he's consistently creating optionality with his footwork. Next one, we got Mitchell in the secondary break again, and I think this is one that he wants back. He's got a chance to skip and exchange this one, just like he does in a few others. And I think if he has a chance, he'd really want this one back again because there's a big opening for him. So let's kind of look at how he gets into it. And again, he's always, here we go, skip to exchange here from the start, creating a moment where he makes a neutral to attack, making Jason Tatum freeze, understanding that he's got options each way, letting Tristan Thompson get into a place where he's set, and then playing from an advantage. So it doesn't matter what he's doing. He's always creating optionality with his footwork, always putting himself in neutral to attack moments. And this is one where right here, I think he wants this. He wants this skip. If he could have this one back, I think he would want this skip. He would want it right there because if he flips his hips, right, we think about what skips do. Foot facing this way, only this part of the court is available to him right now on the next step. Can't go anywhere else. But if he gets this foot and he flips it around, if he goes from here to here, now all of a sudden this is open to him. And I think you can clearly see this is the space that he wants to get into. And he ends up wanting to get in there later because he tries to get in down here, but his hips aren't in a position right now. So if he flips this around, this next step, I think he would want to push it right into this space. He would have been able to push it over here, and this is going to be something special, whether it's a finish or a kick out for a strong side three, whatever it is. And you can see that he sees it because he tries to get back here to get to that side of the court. He knows what side of the court he wants to get to, but if he can get a skip up here, he would give himself access to the angle that he needs. And because he doesn't, if your hips aren't squared up, like his hips right here, the whole time, everything is this way. This is all he has access to. He can't get to the other side of the court, and it comes from not flipping your hips around. So to me, this is one, I think that the way he moves with his footwork, he definitely has this in the bag. I've seen him make this action plenty of times. This is one that he would definitely want back, because there's a big time play in there if he can skip this foot around and get downhill to that open space earlier. All right, next one from Mitchell. We've got another skip to kind of a semi-exchange, half exchange, push-out exchange, something. But skip to a setup in this secondary break. So we got this skip, and then we've got exchange footwork happening, but he ends up pushing it out. And I don't know, maybe he gets away with one here, but he does a nice job of setting Brown up, getting Brown leaning all of his weight one way, and then being able to have the optionality with his feet to attack where open space is. So, maybe he gets away with a little bit of carry here. Superstars get away with a little bit of leeway when it comes to this stuff, but this is a really, really nice setup from Mitchell, and it puts him in this position where he's in an advantage. And this is goofy foot finishing 101. You have an advantage. Right here, he creates this angle. It's his job to make Al Horford break coverage. It's his finish until Al Horford breaks. When you're in these pick and roll actions and it's 2-on-1, you have to make this guy guard you, right? So he sees this is my space, and he does a great job of pushing this into the hole here. Like, he's pushing it down into this hole where space is, and he gets to the point exactly where he wants to be with an angle on Horford. And he also gets a goofy foot jump. He has this angle. This has to be a righty finish. This has to be a righty finish. This has to be goofy foot, same side of the backboard. He's got the angle. He's got everything he wants. He did the work early up here. Great neutral to attack setup with his feet. Skip to push out. Awesome angle. Go finish it goofy. I think this is one he would really want back too. He didn't do much wrong in game 2. He was absolutely phenomenal. But these two actions, these two are ones I think he'd want back. He's just too good of a player to pass these up. All right, next one, we're looking at Donovan Mitchell playing 2v1 basketball again, and him and Al Horford. And Donovan does a wonderful job on this play of not allowing Horford to play 2, making him break coverage, and then making a simple read. So the biggest thing that Donovan does here is he sets the rules of engagement. When he comes off this screen, this right here is wonderful defense from Al Horford. Hips are square. Horford has this covered. By Horford's hips, he's able to move anywhere within this little area. He's got this covered. There is no doubt that he's going to be able to guard both, and Horford's one of the best at doing this. But what Donovan does is he recognizes that, and he digs right here into Drew Holiday and changes the angle. So this is so high level to be able to wait, use change of speed, change of levels, change of direction, and know that this right here, I need to get outside. If we go back to where Horford had this angle covered, I need to get outside of this. I have to get outside of this little pipe that Horford has covered. Otherwise, he's going to be able to play both. And so Donovan does that and changes the angle and bounces outside, and he makes Horford's hips flip. So Horford's hips right now can guard both. By Donovan getting outside of that pipe that Horford had covered, he makes Horford square his hips up to him. And right now, he's made him break. This is going from playing 2 to committing to the ball. Breaking coverage to play 1. Horford's responsible for both. Donovan makes him guard 1. And this is so effing good. Difficult to do, really easy to talk through, but so difficult to do in real time. And to know that you're setting it up. This is something where you can tell Donovan knows this is Horford guarding both. He's got us both. He's got this whole thing covered. We are not going to be able to move anywhere in here. I need to get outside of this. I need to make Horford fearful. And Mitchell does such a wonderful job of setting this up, making Horford flip his hips to open up to him, and then making the easy play. All right, that's it for the Mitchell Skip Fear edit. He was absolutely lights out in Boston. 29 points, 8 assists, 1 turnover. He used fear from skip footwork, from keeping his hips open to create angles for himself and for his teammates. It was an incredible performance by Mitchell. The Cavs were lights out as well. It's going to be an interesting series. I think Mitchell has shown that he can absolutely be the best player in any playoff series. And it's going to be interesting because if he gets it going again, Donovan Mitchell with a full head of steam in terms of footwork, confidence, shot making, he can put anybody down. So it's going to be awesome to see what happens in game 3 and 4. I'm excited for the series. It's going to be a real test for Boston, it looks like. Will they respond? Will they not respond? Who knows? But it was exciting to see Mitchell put his full footwork arsenal on display in game 2. I think we're going to see a lot more of that coming up. He's one of the best in the league at using footwork to create optionality. And then he does such a phenomenal job of loading the weight and then having options of go, exchange, driving the weight up to shoot, hip switching, step back stuff. He has full control of the power when he's moving out there. Hope you enjoyed this edit. I'll catch you on the next one.